You see right there, recently Oklahoma's public sector was given a failing grade when it comes to workplace safety. This was from the State of Safety report given by the National Safety Council. Somebody not happy with this report and saying that it needs to be given a second look here is the Labor Commissioner, Melissa Houston. She joins us now this morning. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
You were fired up about this report. I want to jump into the report real quick, give people a sense of what this group here said. They pointed to things like a lack of a full workplace smoking ban. They say lax drug-free laws and workers' compensation that could use more help, all as the areas they pointed to why they gave Oklahoma a failing grade. And you said that this was not correct.
That is not correct. It's really a disingenuous measure by a national group that has a very specific agenda. However, I didn't realize all that at the beginning. This has taken me a little bit of time to kind of uncover. I first saw the State of the Safety report actually on KOCO. I was watching the morning broadcast and saw the failing grade, and I just knew instinctively that wasn't correct. I know our statistics in Oklahoma that our incident rate of 3.8 is lower than the national average. I know that we have a 47% decrease in public sector injuries. So I know that our workplace safety rate is much better than what this report is indicating. So I was shocked by this failing grade that y'all reported.
Sure.
I quickly went to the website, found out who was the group, what was the tool, and I really uncovered two basic things. First was that the measurements that they use to judge the state, I think, are not fair measurements. They don't include things like incident rate. Really, their measurements are, have you passed a government mandate? Have you passed a specific law that we want to see passed? So that's the first thing.
Now, was their information incorrect in the areas they pointed out, though?
So that's the second point, is that even the measurements are not good measurements, but even the measurements they picked were not accurate information about the state of Oklahoma. So for example, they said that we didn't have any public sector workplace safety. Well, we're one of only 7 states that OSHA defers jurisdiction for local governments to the Department of Labor. So I know that's
so what's that mean
not
for,
right.
You know, just to make me understand the people at home, what's that mean exactly?
What that means is that Oklahoma has such a robust public sector safety program. So for a public employer, a school, a city, a county, a state, Department of Labor has primary jurisdiction instead of federal OSHA. So that means that you have somebody in the state of Oklahoma helping Oklahomans and Oklahoma government employees to achieve those.
And most other places in the country, that would be the federal OSHA.
That would still be OSHA,
okay.
Yes. And they didn't give us credit for that. Workplace safety, violence was another area that I knew we had done a lot in workplace violence prevention. We have passed some laws and we have a lot of administrative rules. Many companies have workplace violence policies in place. Well, it turns out that they didn't give us partial credit. So I wrote a letter and asked them, I said these weren't appropriate tools, and by the way, you are incorrect in your reporting. Sure. Well, they responded back to me finally, and workplace violence is a good example. So I know that we have policies. I know that we do a lot voluntarily. I know we have a lot of protections for state employees. What they wanted was a specific law on the books that they advocate for, which includes a ban of guns in all kinds of places. Well, that is a policy decision that really doesn't have to do with workplace safety, but that's how they're using to determine whether or not we're doing good work on workplace safety, whether or not we're banning guns everywhere. Well, that's an agenda. That's pursuing an agenda. That is not a fair tool.
So you're saying it was a report with a goal here? Very
much a goal, and that was really their response, was what while we appreciate the efforts that you're making voluntarily, we are looking for specific laws to be passed in your state. Well, we in Oklahoma, we believe in helping one another and doing good work because we care about our workers and because we care about people going home at night to their families, not because we have some mandate from a liberal national group who knows better than us what laws we should have in Oklahoma.
So now, would you have had a problem with the metrics if we'd gotten an A or B? Would we be sitting here today?
I think the metrics are so flawed. If they were measuring us on what is your incident rate?
Yeah.
What is your survey response rate? How do you compare to other states on your safety record? That would be a fair measurement. But the whole tool is flawed in what it is that they're measuring. It's really about pushing an agenda rather than actually providing an objective tool.
I guess asked another way, and with due respect, would we be getting a press release right now touting these numbers had it been an A or B versus an F grade?
I do press releases all the time touting our success in workplace safety because I'm very proud of our team that we have. I'm very proud of what we do in the state of Oklahoma. We're one of only 2 states that does a public sector survey. We had a 100% response rate to that. That's unheard of in surveys. I mean, so we do try and draw attention to the progress that we're making as a state and the resources that we have at the Department of Labor who can help private employers to make an even safer workplace.
And then lastly, at the end of the day, why does this even matter? The grade we got on this one report from this one group.
It doesn't matter because it's not an accurate reflection. I think my response was to the media coverage that we had a failing grade in workplace safety, and I was offended on behalf of our workers at the Department of Labor who have a heart for service, who are doing everything they can to provide safe workplaces. I was offended on behalf of our private employers that take advantage of our OSHA consultation program and are driving down those incident rates. And I was offended because I know we have a lower incident rate than the national average. So it needed to be corrected.
In the response, did they change the grade or are they keeping it the same?
They did not because we have not passed the mandates that they would like to have in place.
All right, Commissioner, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.